Come back to Lagos, where the delectable and beautiful Olamide is just standing by to give us what's trending now on social media. So I hand over to you, dear.
Good morning, Toma. Thank you for calling me delectable. Mr. Shomi, do you have any nice words you want to say to me too before I dive in?
Oh, but you know you are a jewel.
Oh, stop it.
It's true.
We've got a lot to get into this morning, boys. Are we ready to see what's trending now?
Yes, certainly.
Let's have a look. Good morning to our wonderful viewers. I like to say that TVC has a finger on the pulse and our eyes on the streets. And here on the Trending Now segment on the TVC Breakfast Show, my team and I do our absolute best to bring you some of the trending stories that are shaping the world that you and I live in. Now, this first story is really going viral. What happens when the boss shows up unannounced? For several top officials in Jigawa State, it was a day of empty offices and difficult questions. Now, the Governor Umar Namadi, paid a surprise visit to the state secretariat during official working hours, only to find the offices of the secretary to the state government, the head of service, and the accountant general locked. Several commissioners and permanent secretaries were also absent, and out of the state's 18 commissioners, only the commissioner for works was found at his duty post, while the permanent secretaries of the ministries of health and livestock development were also present. Describing the situation as unacceptable, Governor Namadi warned that absenteeism, indiscipline and poor commitment would not be tolerated. He said that every public servant has a duty to be at work and deliver quality service to the people of Jigawa State. Now, this inspection, according to the governor, is part of a broader effort to improve accountability, strengthen discipline, and build a more efficient public service. Now, whether this becomes a one-off embarrassment or the start of a cultural shift in the Nigerian public service is what many are waiting to see next. Let's have a look at what you thought about this on social media. Imagine missing work the day the governor is there. God. Sir A.M. Sally, who says, this is a normal habit of civil servants in almost every state of the country. They don't report early but close very early. Reasons many files always remain unattended. This habit is not peculiar to Jigawa State only. It's a tradition all over Nigeria. Dandelion says, let's be honest, this isn't just a Jigawa issue. You can walk into many government offices across Nigeria on a Monday morning and see the same thing. We've normalized absenteeism and poor work culture for far too long. Until there are real consequences, nothing will change. And finally, Kizito Rafiki says, there are people whose jobs are to enforce things like this. The governor can't be everywhere. He should start by sanctioning these people as examples. That's all I'll take on social media for now. Now, team, as always, even though some people found this very comical, there's a serious conversation to be had here. You know, is there a decline in the dedication our civil servants have to public service? Mr. Shomi, what do you think? Is this a civil service thing, or is this a, I wouldn't say Nigerian thing, but it's permeable in a lot of offices, not just public sector, even private sector. Do you think it's a morale thing of the Nigerian workforce? Where do you think the problem lies here?
Yeah, there are two angles to this issue. One is the angle of the public servant, who are the commissioners, the political appointees, who were absent at their duty desk, to the point that their offices, were locked up. Then you have the civil servants, who are the ones servicing those offices, also not there because the offices were locked up. So therefore, for me, it's, there was no public holiday, so the governor must be highly enraged about this development. It also, reflects badly on Jigawa State, and I'm glad the governor is picking up on it. There'll be so many people turning up for one services or the other, and they will never be able to get it because the offices were locked up. So we need to stop this bad practice of not attending to our duties and not being at our duty post.
Etoma, quickly, before you come in, I just wanted to tell you that it was at about 11 a.m. when the governor paid this visit, almost noon.
11 a.m.? Well, if I was Mr. Governor, I would have started with the Civil Service Commission and see if the senior officers went to work, because it is their duty to put the civil service, to do all those, how do we call it, checks on the civil service and public servants in all the ministries. This happens in every state. I was a civil servant before I came to the private sector. And then the governor at that time did the same thing, and it was the same result. Now, if they do this thing in Kano, we'll have the same result. In Delta, we'll have the same, I mean, everywhere. So it's a bad culture that needs to change. I think we have to start showing consequences for bad behavior in the civil service all over Nigeria.
Absolutely, and there will be a fallout for this sort of behavior. Papers will be stalled, procurement is delayed, contractors are not paid. It matters. Good job to the governor of Jigawa State. He stormed the premises. Thank you for your input, team.
Yeah.
Moving on, if you noticed your driver struggling to stay awake behind the wheel, would you reach for your phone or would you try to prevent a possible tragedy? Well, that's the question that many are asking after a disturbing video has now surfaced online and gone viral. Now, in this viral clip that you're watching, it shows a passenger recording a driver who appeared to be falling asleep while this vehicle is still in motion. And rather than waking the driver or urging him to stop, this passenger continued filming. And just moments later, the driver lost control of the vehicle, resulting in a serious crash. This incident has triggered widespread reactions on social media. Many users are questioning this passenger's actions, and they're stressing that road safety should always take priority over recording content. Well, as this video continues to circulate, many Nigerians are now reminding motorists and passengers alike that staying alert and speaking up could help prevent avoidable tragedies. I mean, it takes 1 second to say, I can't drive anymore. I need 10 minutes to take a quick power nap. But you see, you've had an accident now. Now, we don't know if this was fatal or not, but I believe we can all learn a lesson from this. Let's have a look at social media. Derason24 says, driving for a long time can be stressful and exhausting that you can doze off in split seconds. And this is happening to your driver. And the first thing you did is to start recording. Graceify says, instead of the passenger to caution him or tell him to stop the car, he was busy recording. And finally, Onifemi says, well, another person would have offered to drive the bus and allow this driver to get some rest. The man is obviously weak and you can't cheat the nature. Nasim, ideally we'd be focusing on, somebody who is clearly and knowledgeably drowsy going behind the wheel. That would be a problem, but it seems we have a bigger problem on our hands. That somebody is sleeping off behind the wheel of a car that you are in, and your first instinct is to pull out your phone and begin to record this person, and it resulted in the inevitable. There was an accident, but I just want to urge anybody who's watching right now, if you are tired, if you are exhausted, and you operate machinery like a car or you're in a factory, take that time. It is not worth your life.
This is one of the most stupid things anybody can do. You know your life is at risk, and you are still busy, with content creation, filming and all that. Why would anybody do that? It looks stupid to me. It sounds stupid, and it's only a foolish person that would do that. Look, I cannot believe a Nigerian will behave in this way, honestly speaking. If you notice a driver is feeling sleepy or seems to be tired, it is still better to park in a service garage and then relax for about 30 minutes and continue your journey, rather than taking unnecessary risk with your own life.
Your reaction is cracking me up, because it's the truth. It doesn't make any sense that your first instinct is to record what, let's say, nobody prays for this. Let's say the accident was really fatal and you died. Who will post what you recorded? It's very, very wrong. So the first instinct should...
Sashomi has never been so angry. I've never, in all his inputs and submissions, he has never used those words, those profanities on anybody but you.
He's only a half-brained person that will behave in this way. Honestly.
Well, let's all try to stay safe out there, guys. Let's practice defensive driving. You never know, you might be behind a sleepy driver. Thank you for your input, team.
Yeah,
now moving on into the world of social media. Just when the FIFA World Cup final seemed all about football, Nigeria has managed to find its way into a viral moment. Now, American streamer IShowSpeed shared a very light-hearted viral moment with Seyi Tinubu, the son of President Bola Tinubu, and his children during Sunday's World Cup final, where Spain edged Argentina 1-0 after extra time. Now, a live stream showed the internet star greeting members of the Tinubu family in the VIP section after learning that Seyi Tinubu was in attendance. And after posing for some photo ops with the Tinubu children, IShowSpeed now said, Tell your dad to get me a Nigerian passport. And everyone laughed before moving on. But this joke went viral, and it struck a chord with fans who followed his IShowSpeed tour, Africa tour, earlier this year, during which he spent time here in Lagos. He streamed his visits to landmarks, including Freedom Park and the Nike Art Gallery. He met our music stars, Davido, Zlatan, and he celebrated his 21st birthday, which is huge in Nigeria. Earlier in the evening, the 21-year-old also took center stage at the World Cup closing ceremony, performing his son World Cup champions. Let's have a look at social media. Matthew Kelvin says, IShowSpeed should know he can't get a Nigerian passport by just telling the president's son. Even if the president's son will help him in getting one, he has to plead for it in a refined manner. I can't just walk up to Baron Trump in a gathering that I need the USA passport. There's something called a joke, Matthew. Official Olonwa says, he came for the World Cup but left asking for a Nigerian passport. Tim, very interesting. Now I don't know why that audio wasn't there, but he basically said, you know, he met Shea Tinubu, had some photo ops with Shea Tinubu's children, and he said, tell your dad to get me a Nigerian passport, essentially. But as always, an intellectual discussion is to be had. Nigerians were global citizens, and everywhere we go, we manage to make people feel like family and wanting to belong with the Nigerian identity, whether that's through our food, through our music, through just our culture. Nigeria is a very welcoming place, and it seems that IShowSpeed is identifying with us. But the chutzpah on that young man to see the son of the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and say, give me a passport. Why can't he go and apply, Mr. Shomi?
Look, IShowSpeed actually enjoyed himself while in Nigeria. I mean, you can't blame him. You need, look, when Nigerian says, oh, we are leaving, I'm jackpotting, I'm going to one country or the other, Nigeria is not good, you need to understand the impression that other visitors to Nigeria, you know, have. But, I mean, for instance, go to Abuja, go to Lagos, go to Abeokuta, Ibadan, Port Harcourt, you know, even Kano, Kaduna, you would have a very different impression from what you're having currently. Yes, you might not have enough money, but there are also opportunities here. But you see people like IShowSpeed now wanting to hold a Nigerian passport. So we should be proud of our country.
Well, IShowSpeed has a natural knack for creating the buzz. You know, I mean, the whole stadium. Did you see that stadium that day? It was packed, you know, and he fished out Shea Tinubu. This guy, he fished out Shea Tinubu and asking for Nigerian passport. I believe he was just joking. I mean, trying to get that moment to be as interesting as possible. But the fact is that he asked for the Nigerian passport. That is big.
Absolutely. IShowSpeed, you're already one of us. You might not need to get that passport. We welcomed you very well when you were here last time. Thank you for your input, team. And now moving on. For many Nigerians, the sight of a snake often sparks fear, panic, and in some cases, spiritual interpretations. But one wildlife expert is going viral because she's working to change that perception. Herpetologist Taiwo Kikiola says that snakes remain amongst the world's most misunderstood animals, with fear, myths, and misinformation often shaping public attitudes towards snakes. Despite facing criticism and even being labeled a witch because of her work with reptiles, this young lady has continued to use social media to educate the public about snake behavior, conservation, and the important role that these animals play in the ecosystem. She also revealed that one of her long-term goals is to contribute to the development of snake anti-venom, saying that greater investment in research and conservation could help save lives while promoting better understanding of reptiles. According to Taiwo, education remains one of the most effective ways to reduce fear, discourage unnecessary killing of snakes, and encourage safer interactions between humans and wildlife. Have a look at this young herpetologist.
My name is Taiwo Kikiola, and people like to call me Snake Girl. I be a herpetologist. I dey catch snake, rescue them, release them back to the wild. Now, what they do with that? As Africans, misconception we get for snakes is so much. People think say snakes na God. Some people think say they be evil, they be witchcraft. Say if you see snake for your environment, oh, your village people don't come for you. I know be so. Snakes just be one animal where we say that they find food and shelter. Nigeria don't big pass make person they fight for snake bite. I want venture into production of anti-venom. Now where they go be that. For country like Nigeria, anti-venom suppose dey every primary care health centers, close by pharmacies, and also government hospital, not just private hospital. So we guys work together, make sure say this thing dey affordable.
Now, this young lady's message has sparked conversations on social media. Many Nigerians are applauding her commitment to conservation and scientific research, but others are continuing, unfortunately, to push long-held cultural beliefs about snakes. Let's have a look at social media. Mr. Prolific says, a snake will always be a snake. If it hasn't bit you, it just chose to not bite you yet. But one day you will learn, and there won't be antidotes. These reptiles can never be fully domesticated. Timmy Tokpa says, there's a part of her brain which understands snake motion. Me, I can't even watch snakes move on a screen. Same here. Ayoku says, from being called possessed to becoming a voice for snake conservation, your story is powerful. The world needs more herpetologists like you. Keep educating us. Very positive tweet there. Now, Tim, they're calling her Snake Girl online. And before she actually got into herpetology, you know, she said in her community, she was, even by her mother, she was sort of like branded a witch. They were worried about her and saying, is this a spiritual problem? But what I want to commend is that she's thinking of the greater good. She plans to, you know, not only conserve these animals because they're an important species in our ecosystem, but to provide anti-venom medicines, Mr. Shomi, for people who might need it. Her study is very, very important. It's the difference between life and death for somebody who might be suffering from a snake bite one day. And so we need more young people in these lines of businesses. How can I contribute to my community, no matter what it is I'm doing? Well,
for those who have been bitten by snakes, the fear of snake is the beginning of wisdom. I once was a victim. I was in secondary school and I got bitten by snakes. Since then, I do not want to see a snake in sight. I would rather get rid of it as fast as possible. The fact of the matter is, she herself, that is the herpetologist Taiwo Kikiola, realized that snakes are dangerous and they can also bite people. So because of that, she's researching into the venom. But who wants to get bitten by snakes? We're only talking about one species biting people. What about anaconda? They don't bite. Anaconda will squeeze you and swallow you. What about cobra? You know, what about python? So I would really not advise people, you know, to be all that tolerant of snakes. They need to keep away from them.
Where I come from, they say if you've been bitten by a snake, when you see a worm, you'll take off. You know? Oh, yes. And this is one animal that I don't want to see. If I see it in this room, my dear, I'll go on leave. I'll go on leave. I want to commend her for what she's doing, actually, because she is slowly eroding the ignorance we have concerning the behavior of snakes. And her end goal is something that is highly commendable. I think and I believe that we should give her the support she needs. I'm talking about corporate organizations now, because where she's going is to get anti-venom medicine in every hospital in Nigeria. That is a goal that we really need. You remember the girl that died in Abuja? Just because there was no anti-venom dosage in whatever hospital they took her to. So her dream is fantastic. I think and I believe, in fact, I urge corporate organizations to support her work, but don't bring the snakes nearby.
Yes, Taiwo, I commend you. Thank you for choosing authenticity. Thank you for your submissions.